This is an askSlim market brief for April 12, 2020. India stock market, cycle analysis. Will India stocks continue to crash? Please like this video and subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at askSlim. Visit askSlim.com to see all of our great content and memberships. And write to Matt at askSlim.com for trial memberships. All right, so we're going to look at the India stock market. We're going to do some cycle analysis. Many of you will see this now for the first time. Of course, some of you that follow us will recognize this type of analysis. I'm going to walk you through it a little bit and show you why I think the India stock market is in a lot of trouble all the way down through sometime in 2021. So here is a monthly chart of India. And you can see on this chart, well, it looks like a typical candlestick chart. Now I'm going to bring in some other analysis for you to see, and then you'll get a sense for this cycle analysis. What we're looking at right now is this monthly chart where we have 20-year monthly. We're going back to 2009. So we're looking at about 11 years right here. That was the length of the bull market and the beginning of this big downside move for all world markets, actually. Now let's take a look, and I'm going to switch this over and show you what our dominant cycle analysis looks like. And you can see all of a sudden something is showing up in here, and that is energetic movement in the markets. And there is a consistent distance between the important lows. Those are called cycle lengths. On the bottom right there, you can see cycle brackets, and they're showing a period of 30 bars or 30 months. And you can see that very, very clear cyclical analysis. Now, if you look in here, you can see that there is a projection, and that projection shows you a continued decline out towards sometime in the early part of 2021, and that is in alignment with these cyclical lengths, each of these at the 30-month period. Now, there is a half cycle in here that you could see at the bottom, and I'm going to bring in another important cycle, and I'm just going to bring in those minor projections and the resistance, and you can see right in there. So each of these 30-month cycles that you can see in here as they align up right here is made up of two 15-month cycles. That's a half cycle. And what's important about this is that this decline that we had, this very significant decline, which lost about 50% of its value, has now bottomed. And I'm just going to look here at this last cycle right over here so you get a little clearer look. And you can see that this sell zone here is made up of what we call swing high, swing low analysis. This is the 23.6%, the 38.2%, and the 50%. This is likely to be the best levels that we see the India rally get up to, and only last in here for a brief period of maybe a couple of months on the upside before it then turns down sharply. Now, what's significant to look at in here is that when you get these two cycles lining up on the bottom right over here, that's right over here, you get your steepest declines, like this one right over here, this one right over here, this one right over here, and what will be coming out over here towards the end of the year. That is pretty much in alignment with what we see in other world markets also, continued downside movement and failures after this rebound that you see right there. So that, what you can see, is a monthly pattern, and that is what we look at for our bigger picture analysis, which suggests a failure coming in India during this springtime period, and then the markets moving down very sharply into 2021. So you could see that pretty clearly when we looked at the monthly information. The next little piece of information we're going to look at here is the weekly chart, and you can see that right here. There are also cycle analysis. There's also cycles that keep repeating in this weekly chart. And you can see in here again, we have a dominant cycle and we have a minor cycle. So in this case, the dominant cycle and the minor cycle bottomed. So the point on the monthly chart that I showed you that made this bottom also was a point on this weekly chart that made this 36 bar bottom and this 18 bar bottom. So this is 36 weeks and 18 weeks. You can see the bottoms right here and right over here and right over here, and the alignments of these cycle rhythms. Cycles are energy of the market. This is an art form that we're looking at here, where we look at these energies, essentially money flow, that becomes very, very clear to us. And we also look at momentum indicators, which is this one right in here, that is in this collapse mode. And even with this rally that we've had right over here, that momentum indicator is still moving down very sharply. So here is the sell zone. And also when I highlight this, this points out into December 20 of 20. So there's probably another whole one of these cycles that gets you out into 2021 that makes for the continuation of this bear market that we see here in India. So what it says to us is that the sum of the evidence is that the stock market in India is likely to have some brief period or continued brief period of respite. It can continue to move up briefly for some number of weeks. It might be a few more weeks at here. It'll probably pull back. It'll probably have another attempted rally, but then down into December and then down into another wave down into next year. Looks like a lot of trouble for the India market. So I bring you this because it aligns with other world markets, and we have a lot of followers in India, and I thought it was of great value to investors in all countries. And I hope our followers in India look at this and say, wow, that is some great information. More information on cycle analysis, go to askSlim.com, look at workshops. You'll see it up in the top nav bar. Look at cycle analysis, great information there, and a great video for that. And you can write Matt at askSlim.com. During this period of the shutdown, we have been offering a 30% discount on our cycle analysis workshop, and you can write at Matt at askSlim.com for that. That is the market brief for today on the India stock market. I hope you found it fabulous. Please put a comment on this video. Thank you very much.